movers and the shakers. Number one, never let somebody censor you.
I am a native of Gabon.
Go back to the Holy Quran for solutions. Now the Quran of Shah.
And you know Abdul Nasr Imam Mahmoud Al Haji Jibril Imam Mustasha.
Look at your beauty beyond your physical appearance.
Why not join me, Abdul-Jalil Naabeli, the son of Musa Kumo, as my guests and I throw you to life-changing stories. Right, good evening and welcome again to another edition of My Northern Achiever. With me, Abdul-Jalil Naabeli, I am a son of Musa Kumo. Always a delight to come your way with the show. And you know, every Friday night at 8:30 p.m. I feel very humbled and it's a lot of pleasure. And today my opinion on My Northern Achiever is going to be talking about politics, especially of Ghana and of the northern region. The Ghanaian political culture today has turned into something of polarity, if you like, acrimony. People are on each other's throats because of politics. You would find people even in the same political party pushing each other, you know, maligning each other just because they want one position or the other, just for personal gains. Sometimes I do sit down or I lie down on my pillow, put my head on my pillow, and I'm like, what kind of politicking are we doing in Ghana? Is it that we are into politics just for our own selves or for the betterment of our society? Today you ask a young man or a young woman or people in politics why they are in politics, and trust me, the first thing they will say is to enrich themselves. They shamefully or unshamefully say it and they don't really care what other people will think about it. I think it is about time we began thinking about why we are into politics and how we can also, you know, help to shape in our country, make it better. Our elderly have seen their own, it is left with us. So for the youth, please, this is time for us to be very, very vigilant. Let's begin to think about our future. What country do we want our politicians to build for us? Why is it that whenever someone is in politics, I wrote on my Facebook timeline some time ago, and I'm going to echo it again, because today there are people that, in quote, you and I may be very far better than, but because they are in politics, they go to the best countries for their vacation, they ride in the best cars, they sleep in the best houses and best hotels, yet we are here. Not because we cannot also do that, but because we are not politicians or we are not close to politicians. I believe that we need to begin to think about how we can begin to make politics a better place for all, a better, you know, job, so to speak, so that at least at the end of the day, politics would be seen as something that will be used to develop our country and not for selfish gains. Well, I'm just going to leave it here. The conversation can go on in our homes, in our offices, at our workplaces, so that at least we'll keep talking about this. The more we keep talking about it, the more we get angry at it, and the more we begin to see how best we can reshape ourselves and make our society a better place for all of us. I'm going to go for a very quick commercial break on this note because I have a great personality and you won't want to miss this show for tonight. I'm back shortly after the commercial break and we continue the show. Thank you so very much for staying on with me on My Northern Achiever on Sagani TV. I am Abdul-Jalil Naabeli, son of Musa Kumo, and you can see today I'm looking very yummy. I know the young ladies out there will be admiring me small. My wife will beat all of you if you do. And if you like what I'm wearing, this is Walawazi Collection in action inside Yendi. You can also get in touch with Walawazi Collection. Their numbers will be rolling on our screens. Call them and he will get you the best of clothing. Designer wears, every kind of clothes, from shoes up all to the chains. I don't do chain, but whatever it is that you want, that is dressing, costuming, they are there for you. Today I have with me a great personality. She's a female, and I believe that a lot of young ladies out there are going to learn from her. Today we see a lot of our young ladies who don't really know their left from their right. Excuse my language, but that is what it is. And so if you are a young lady growing up, just stay glued to your TV set and learn a lot from this young, no, she's not young, from this I don't know how to put it, but she's a lady. So
I'm young at heart.
So my guest today is Hajia Azara Abdul-Majeed Haroon. Welcome, Hajia, to the program.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if I got your name right.
Not really. To some extent, yes, but not really.
Okay.
Because I think I'm Azara Abubakar Haroon.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But you included my husband's first name, so that's okay. I'll pardon you for that.
That's great.
Yes.
Okay, so as you can see, she's my mother because she's quite close to my family. But the time she was close to my family, I wasn't born actually. But you know, history has it that she was close to my family. And so today we are going to have a hearty chat, and you know, we'll learn a lot. We'll learn a lot. So let's come and start by asking who we really are.
All right.
Because everybody right about now will be waiting to hear from you who you are, where you grew up, you know, the schools you attended. So I'm just going to give you the field to play the ball.
Okay.
Tell us who you are.
All right. Actually, good evening to our listeners. I am honored to be part of this program tonight. And I do hope that I'm going to inspire a lot of young ones. But before we start the inspirational, motivational issues that would help other people, I need to do an introduction of myself. My name is Azara. That's my first name.
Okay.
And my surname is Abubakar Haroon.
Okay.
I actually come from Tolo. You know, and a lot of people know me by that.
Okay.
But my second home, which is my husband's home, is Yendi. And to some extent, Zabazugu as well.
Okay.
I have actually started my life in Tolong,
Okay.
where I was born, some 61 years ago. And I went to school there up to middle school from 2 and proceeded to Yendi Secondary School,
Okay.
where I did my O-levels and came back to Tamale Secondary to do my A-levels,
Okay.
and then proceeded to KNUST to read architectural design. From there, actually, I got married in my second year university, and was lucky enough for my husband to be, who gained a Commonwealth scholarship to London to read his master's. So I had the opportunity to leave KNUST, join him in London, and decided to actually switch courses. So I did my first degree as a social scientist in urban planning. If you are in Ghana or if you were in Ghana at that time and you had the opportunity to go outside to UK, it was one, a privilege, and two, you also had the chance to be able to now think and make a decision for yourself. Yes, I was reading architecture, I liked it, but it was so long. It was a 6-year program, and had just married, and I'm talking about 1982. You know, so when I got to London, I realized that there were too many opportunities for me not to make use of, and I think I don't regret for that, because then I had the option to be able to look at other alternatives in terms of what career I wanted to take. And of course, planning, urban planning was quite close to architecture, and I thought that it was one. And indeed, because of that, I actually went to Open University, Milton Keynes. So I was one of those who actually, maybe Ghanaians who started to do long distance courses. Today it's so common here, everywhere. But it wasn't. So I really had the chance to be able to work full time, do a long distance university course, degree course, and then have children.
Wow. Let's stay a little with education.
Yeah.
How long did you stay in London?
I lived in London from 1982 to 1996 when we came
Wow.
back. I came back
That was
with
a long
my kids.
time.
Yes, I think
Over
over
10
13
years,
years.
about
Over 13
yes.
years.
Yes.
You know.
And so throughout these periods, after your first degree in urban planning,
Yeah.
did you further your education or you
Yes,
just
I
felt
did.
that- Really?
I did.
So where next?
So when I finished
like in
my first
certification?
degree, yes, I actually worked with London Borough of Hackney as a benefits officer. It's a finance-related job, and I thought, well, so if I was to come, because all that while we knew, my husband and I knew that we would be coming back to Ghana at the end of the day. So the opportunity we had was to educate ourselves, to really ensure that we empowered ourselves. So whilst working after my first degree, I had my first child and then my second. And then I went on to do a postgraduate course in banking and also chartered as a banker. Yeah. And so when I came back home, I was a chartered banker and decided to go into not mainstream banking at the beginning, because I thought I also need, I've always had the chance of having a vision, which for me has helped me, because in life, if you don't have a vision, you are not going to be able to make it. I mean, you just wonder about. So I had a vision. Thank God I had the husband, the type of man who would give me that support to be able to achieve what I wanted to achieve. You know,
I'm beginning to love this, especially when you say, thank God you had that man who would support you. Today, I don't know as whether, even though today we are beginning to see the light, and it's like it is now that men are not even willing to support their wives, especially in that direction. But we'll come to talk more about your coming home and the jobs you have taken right from coming back to Ghana. But let's come back to the family. I love family values because you see, these are things that you know, that ground us as a people.
Exactly.
So what kind of family do you come from, and what kind of upbringing did you get there in Tolong? And you know,
okay, I'm glad you've asked me that question, because for me, it's my parents who instilled into me the kind of discipline I had to be able to, you know, to be who I am today. Even though when and indeed it did help me even in selection of my husband and doing the way I want to do things, because I've always said that my mother was the professor that she couldn't be because she didn't go to school. But for some reason she, you know, my father was a peasant farmer in the village, and my mom actually used to make what we call kulkule. You know, I'll say that in English as a groundnut cake. And she was one of the leading producers of kulkule and the oil
in Tolong.
And that is what I survived by. Even though she did other things, she was a jack of all trades actually. She was like, yes, those days she was a petty trader. So she would sell, you know, provisions. So we learned how to do that. She would sell very important things in the village, like cola nuts, because that was very important. She would even help farmers, you know, and I think that is where I got my banking ideas from, because she would help farmers to farm, and then at the end of the day she would get her return, because there would be an agreement between she and the farmer. She would help even teachers in the village. And I believe you me, I think because of her relationship with people who went to school, and because she also sold kulukuli, you know, children liked those kind of things. We didn't have the biscuits and sweets that we have now.
Those were biscuits and
exactly. So she.
I remember growing up at some point, you know, kulukuli graduated from the normal lukui to getting flour, bread flour.
Exactly.
That was the time some of us began to see something better than kulukuli.
I see, exactly. But you know, her kulukuli was very nice, and I'm sure that if there are people from my village, and indeed because of that also, she knew a lot of people who had already gone to school, you know, and she took a lot of people I mean, she took care of a lot of people, young people who came from the villages to the school. So my house was close to, and indeed, I'm the only person who went to school. I was her last born out of 5 children.
Okay.
You know, and
Was your father polygamous or
not really?
monogamous?
My father wasn't, because I think they were 2, and the first one actually died before I was even born.
Oh, okay.
So
he decided
he wasn't.
to just...
But people from Tolong, you know, they are very, I don't know, but I would like to pay a tribute to them in a way, because they speak their mind, we speak our minds, we don't exaggerate. So, and they are themselves. So really, if you knew that you couldn't have one or two, more than one wife, you don't, and no one would give you the pressure. I think that is what it is still today, you know. So my father didn't marry again. Exactly. But I must say that I was just about, my father got very sick a year after I went to secondary school. Because I went to secondary school in 1973. Okay. Yeah, to Yendi Secondary. And then 74, my father had a stroke. And he was bedridden until 1979. So everything was on my mother. And, you know, she is my hero, my role model, because seriously speaking, she instilled into me a lot of values. I wish she was, but she would be very old now, considering the fact that even my own sister who just passed was about 95 years old. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Don't forget that I'm not young. My mom died. Sometimes your appearance looks quite a little deceptive. And we'll come to talk about the secret behind this. I think doctor is a lucky man. Well, I'm also lucky. Yeah. But of all these hustles of your mom, you know, trying to put the family together, as far back as 79, your dad passed on. She had to take care of everything. Yeah, every other. What was your role as her child? My mom was a disciplinarian, and I've always learned not to be lazy, because we couldn't afford to be lazy, because as I said, this the issue of, you know, these days I see a lot of young people making conscious efforts. We did too, but it was part of our lives to say that this is the beginning of the year and I'm going to have a lot of objectives. We have already had, my mom used to have her objectives on a yearly basis, even though she hadn't gone to school. She knew that, look, I'm going to, apart from my kulukuli, I'm going to want to have about 20 bags of corn or whatever, or 10 bags of rice in particular, because she would buy the rice and put it down and we'll meal it. We'll learn how to meal, take it, you know, and then go to farm as well, because my stepbrothers used to go to farm. I had one stepbrother and other people that she had to bring up as well. And the discipline she instilled in us, you know, made us to know that, look, without really knowing where you are going, you will not go anywhere. So I had to be part of the school chores in the house, go fetch water, you know, at the dam, come back, clean the house, help her even in her kulukuli if there was no school to attend, and still had to go to school. What was your motivation, you know, of being in school in those days? Especially, look, it interests me a lot to see that in those days, even men were not interested in going to school. What was your motivation? What pushed you to keep going to school? To be honest with you, my mom pushed me. Even days I didn't want to go to school, she would push me. But I think the other thing is that, you see, God does things in a wonderful way. You know, she used to, I really want you to go to school. I really want you to be, and she would mention names. I want you to be like that, you know. So, and then of course, if I didn't even study, my mom would wake me up to study. And if I had to, and my mom for some reason even knew that I should have reports, and she would ask me, particularly when I went to secondary school. But of course, at the early stages, I believe that I was just going because I was doing well. Don't forget that those days, even though most of those who taught us were pupil teachers, they were very dedicated. Extremely good. They were good. Extremely. Most of them came from Volta region. They were Elwes, and they stayed with us in the village. And they would ensure that you do your homework and all that. But saying that, I must pay a tribute to one of my teachers those days. I don't know if you know someone they call Goldwater, Hajia Adams Goldwater. He is now on retirement, you know, a very young old man, because he's very old, but you see him to be a young man. He instilled a lot of passion in me when I was school. For some reason, he taught me in my class 4. Indeed, but before that, even I go back, let me roll back a bit, because one of the inspirations was that the chief Tolona Yakubu, Alaji Yakubu Tale, was an inspiration, because in my class 3, he came to the school to visit us as the chief of the village. You know, he never stayed for long in the village because he was a politician. But he would come, and anytime he came, he would be interested. He would come to the school. And then he came and taught us a poem, which said, the little boy who says, I will try, will climb to the hilltop. The little boy who says, I cannot, you know, I believe you can take the rest from there. And it became an inspiration, because even today, if I'm doing something and I cannot do it, I recite that poem. And it really
gives you the inspiration, the push.
You know, life hasn't been too easy. It is not, you cannot have it all easy all the time. You know, even if you did, it is not the right thing. But anytime I was in an exam hall and I could not think, I recited that poem, and it helps me. So really, I think we should not underestimate talking to each other. We should not underestimate asking older people for advice, because sometimes what they give to you is what will keep you. I mean, luckily these days, you guys are more privy to books in particular, and reading. And you know, yes, not so much. It depends on the programs I would watch on the program. I'll come to that, because seriously speaking, if you watch every program on the television, you are not going to be able to get anywhere.
So we'll come to talk a lot more of this and more.
Yeah.
But people should just know that the best program to watch is My Northern Achiever, because this is where you learn all the life lessons that you need. And so if you are not watching My Northern Achiever, we say here in Dagbon, you are doing yourself. I am interested in something Hajia said, that her mother instilled a lot of discipline in her, and it even helped her in choosing her husband. We'll come and talk a lot more of this and more right after this commercial break. Do stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
I am Sheikh Muhammad Al-Amin Bamba.
Al-Haji Muhammad Mumuni, otherwise called Lawyer Mumuni.
Damascus Tuyoso.
Professor Amin Al-Hassan.
Yusuf Husseini.
Hajia Mariam Idrisi.
Malik Al-Hassan Yakubu.
Abdullah Baba Salifi.
Salfi Said.
Ibrahim Tanku Amidu.
Abdurrahman Muhammad Hassan.
Hajia Aishi Tusi.
Ahmed Abubakar Yusuf.
Keep watching
My
Northern Achiever.
Keep watching My Northern Achiever on Sagani TV.
I thank you so much for staying on with me on My Northern Achiever. I believe that we are learning a lot from Hajia Azara, and she is having my grandmother's name, Majeed Naabeli, and so she's my grandmother. Let me put it that way. And we're having a great conversation here, and like I said before we went for the break, a lot of discipline has been instilled into you at a young age. I believe that that alone is an inspiration that we should learn, because today you see a lot of young ladies out there, and you would tell straightforward that she has no upbringing, from the way they talk, even the way they request for things from men, you know. And so we'll come to talk about it. But before we talk about that one, you know, what kind of qualities did you see in Doc that made you feel that this is my husband?
Oh yes, this is a question. These are the kind of questions you said you will just throw up, right? I think he believes in Allah. The first,
Hajia,
the first thing.
let's talk about this one in the Ghana. Check out one paper. No believe no we want to like now one bien.
But when come Dr. Majeed mean was up now.
No, I'm reoccurring this because today, trust me, to Duruwana, the Bambe, they don't really care about whether Azura now be Azura.
Wait, but I mean,
I have shown my bully or do. Kabulima or Lartro. She preferred that one to Windsor now in Kakabin shop.
Well, or the Labna. Otherwise, when Pima. Because I trying to carry a trash and now on the bazaar chai. I love Nanyanga.
I'm touched. So now on Zobonyanga.
Now on Zobonyanga, or be a good character. You know, I'm not trying, but me I'm the camera. Me as a woman for me. I'm a yell na camera when you're minister so. But no strong nerva. Doctor Pala Mundir over Diro Conco. Or you're near or you're la bihago. So how am you, Tam Kama? You will never the Aranyaka doctor in the me, Tam Kamo Larme. And so, oh, Bihagoza Yala, Wula Kayan, the song Mabirgo. So, honestly, Kangba Muhammad was sunny. Because then yell male. You know, the spirit of giving is why we should have a vision. And I mean, ya Muslimi, I am Yaman Kaman. Had 5 pillars of Islam shall now on the Titima. Design yella about that spirit of giving. I believe in the now in yella zai. I believe in the now in yella zai, you know. I yella never so not selfless. Borne biha what you told me. Now bazanti so that was so no to pala. So I am number shakam. I am malvision. I am mal tuma. I am born na so piel junior yellow. Wallahi nala. UIP. I be UIP dokuna. And I mean generally mamida ayama nembirkan to yam pido ka kuldo so born will be oko unjiro koyo.
Yeah. No, you see, once
so I am pido the tumana pido so munye so kam nira salo nira ka okonko because idea ko but wallahi so be am piala.
You see, in that Jimmy, you know, one day Pasaro so to call him. Now the call was that no me no yida ambiane. Ka oida mati no bombo. Ka karto. Kamambo aida ma wula ni salenyo. Because I mean so kuto kubiane ko tie no blambora. Ko yema ne yemale. Ndabo yo pour janwani no pour ama no la jam de la boleba. So this is something that is happening in our societies today. People don't care. We leave, we throw it to the dustbin.
Now you come bala. Now you come bala. Wallahi now yet an Indian cell come born no zoge. Or majere. Or majere. So it young majere, my watch to me, or could mean wrong borrow or matter, major carambala. Like I could yalla carapajere. Majorambala. So thing and sham yammer, Wula cat lane to nang, so let me say and define it, be shading and to check and yam bo or mambiane. Bomman bianma do you back by it passara the nachimba can't passara cocat yero ni daba I am bopa the to me cat habianazo to do pama yera when you like pass on going to ya be a woman better near by jail seriously be walk to drop and draw card cocoto colo manga only could bring or be when you like una fichi the tongue man to mona capambala equally do by yam bella be a born yan in Zablo or Cabu I bought be any yella junior was a yellow casucan cana partially to mamina Aguilamang Balama a boy Aguilama the man the pool I done yellow carbon genuine Antonio began yellow carrier yelman lorry because Anto yella dad you go into the tuma Kato yellow. Am I didn't like to no stakawa? Be I jang with the measure and jang to but la Yarmad. Yaman come down Yarman. To talk about be and borrow to Atokuzo. You know? So Mr. Lama, let me have a man, wallahi. Now Zasile. Muslim send me the Zasaban shadows to me. Had that bank or got an Punyala Muslim. The Biaguzana Yaya to Ashangomaza. That man Banyama, one of the Madame Miyama, when Yamati and Kuldoya in the Bodulana. Cambo, Koya, Catro examples, why Kojet La Elima. Nacham, my uncle learning for someone ya a saline chi. Be Haroon Yanku. I can't Kulakramaya when Sam no Lamazuka. And I bear work a hat. Whatever now, Uncle Bob and Shadow, I don't care. Yeah, mammy, oh, my minute now, I dare draw now with Zalpana. Be truthful, be patient in life. Come marry Imani. I be a letter. Katum the Tuma. Wallahi, the Bian and Kakwam, Abanyandi, Anyandi.
A word to the wise is always enough.
That's on Bihago.
And so, let's come back to talk about your coming back from the UK into Ghana. You went in 82. And you were there all through to 96.
Yes.
Right. So what happened when you came back to Ghana?
Okay, so you know, niti yankunama kardanan kat botuma ma karinyala with a company called Home Finance Company. Okay. At the time. They didn't hype of body, you don't go in a Republic Bank.
Yeah, Republic.
Okay. You know, so with la company ma bratila nirba loans ka daria so ni malbe no kuna yongo da nyala newtma Ghana da nan la newtma so na jenin pe mainstream banking ne kara nahma ni an wunam be sham ka tumna sham ka da ma ba kan manan nin kurugo ka be tola ka yam bi akra entum bank so ka da paham solo kabot lala tuma so entum lala tuma ha ka company ma bazo hale katetelege bombo katetelege bank
mainstream
from a mortgage finance company so 1996 ma halam biala ni ma hale to 2003 when we became a bank a fully fledged bank. Universal bank. You know, can I under you
what was the name of that La Bank?
Right, HFC Bank.
HFC, okay.
So, then ma ni bed na tuma maka, but maham na kama uza abian tumane kang pangda ma so kapazamba leg first branch manager of the bank. Wow. So hale umpunga IP bank man anya kama a lot of the things that they design and all that. Nubia la de pune. Maybe Shangabi Anantonia Yuba Caribbean because becoming a first branch manager of a newly established bank is about change management. Yeah. Change management. You know, issues to do with transformation and all that. So and I got involved in all
because you need a strong foundation.
Exactly.
Once the foundation is weak, then
no, you can't do it. And you also need a lot of passion. Passion is very important in life, you know.
It's interesting, you know. So you be from Belkabe young. Kati ayen den kunyame katamba 1 city, katamba 2 cities. Mbwala moto kadamtema, mbwala phone kadamtema. Then nya atuma. Aje no passion po abi am pardon. So listen, I have a vision. The end panya so nyan kula do yele so you don't have a vision. It won't help you. You need to have a vision. And your vision should be that, look, I also want to get to this point. Do I have a vision? Take Hajia as a role model and begin to learn from her. There's Google today. You can Google her and you'll be able to find a lot of information about her, what she has done for herself. And it will help you. It's better than, and really remember, don't go and choose a guy because he has a car today, regardless of what he's doing. You don't care. Once he has a car, he has a nice room or a nice house, you are okay with it. Trust me. Trust me. Sooner than later, you are going to regret that decision. And sometimes some of those things, they give you an irreversible damage. It will never be well with you again if you make such a mistake. I don't pray for anybody. Now, Hajia, let's continue with. So, from HFC Bank, is it where you stayed until you retired?
So, what happened was that, yes.
You stayed with HFC Bank?
Yes, because it actually provided me with what I wanted to. In life, I've said earlier on that you need to know what you want in life. You understand?
Yeah.
It gave me the freedom to be a career banker, and also to be a people's person, and also to be a mother. You know, and a wife. So I was quite happy there. But in 2006, whilst I was still there as a branch manager, 2005 I'll come back. I went on to do my executive MBA in finance with the University of Ghana Business School. You know, and aside that, I remember, and I still do. There's no year I don't stay. Learning is very important. You must learn. Even with you guys, we should learn. I mean, by the time I leave here, you should get something from me that you can. Luckily, you are now privy to the Google. In fact, you are more open than us. Learning, and that's what keeps you as a person. And if you learn, and you are lucky to have, you know, a partner who understands like I do, you know, the sky will be your limit, you know, because he'll give you the support. But of course, being a God's person also is very important in life, you know. I remember one of my in business school, I had a lecturer called Professor Dodonu, who he gave us a mnemonic about factors of production, and it's very, I wish I had time to tell you all of it because it's very interesting and it helps. He used to say there are a lot, I think there were about 14, and the mnemonic was Clemstre Hagog. The last one is God. Any other thing, Clems would be something else, like, you know, you should be an entrepreneur, you should be that, you know, a good negotiator, a good communicator. But the last word, the God was God. And, you know, and I know that even millionaires have said and agreed that there must be something that is pushing you. And that something is your God. And in our case, as a Muslim, it's Allah who also would give you that kind of support. And take it seriously, because if you want to even become a millionaire, no matter how passionate and how much you want to work, you must have that kind of belief that at the end of the day, whatever I have, has to be blessed by someone, that kind of thing.
Wow. And this is where we are going to go for another quick commercial break. I'm enjoying myself, and I couldn't have had a better, you know, guest for today. And I love this. And look, just look around you. You will find young people dying every day in and day out. A lot of them are the Sakawa people, mostly. Trust me.
Yeah, they put themselves under pressure.
And so you must let's be very careful what we do. And I do know that I'm creating a lot of acrimony for myself in the Sakawa fraternity. I don't care, because I don't need anything from any Sakawa person. But this is just something that we have to tell you. If nobody is telling you, I'm going to tell you that, look, I know the Sakawa Shelma. It is not going to help you. Trust me. Whether you like it or not, there's only but one truth. So I satiti, look, there is nothing like changing from bad to the best, or from bad to good. So the change starts from now. Don't think that you are the oh, na nipiar na pasha man kuto tai. Binshanka dunia na kuto tai. Na alaba borme. It is time. Ne kamane te yila la ben yarango ma yelane. Kapuna ni moe. Ko tum de vien yaranka. Na oti na ba liabugum so an liabuge. Na mi ben nam so kamu ni la arlana. Now you never la arlana. Just forget it. We go for a quick break. I'm back shortly after we conclude on this with Hajia Azara. We're back shortly.
The movers and the shakers, number one, never let somebody censor you.
I am a native of Dabo.
Go back to the Holy Quran for solutions. Now the Quran bin Shah Zumba.
And you'll want Abdul-Jalil Imam Mahmoud Al-Hajji Imam Mustasha.
Look at your beauty beyond your physical appearance.
Why not join me, Abdul-Jalil Naabeli, the son of Musa Kumo, as my guests and I
through you to life-changing stories.
Make a date every Friday at 8:30 p.m. only on Sagani TV.
I remain Abdul-Jalil Naabeli, son of Musa Kumo, the king of the Northern Prime Time, and I'm having a wonderful conversation today with Hajia Azara, Abubakar, Haroon, and great conversation, great conversation. But let's come to, we are in the concluding part of this particular program. So I would love to quickly find out from you. You are retired now.
Yeah.
I think you retired last year, right?
Yeah.
And so throughout this period.
Not last year, I'll tell you how I retired.
Oh, okay.
But very briefly too.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So from 96 when you came back, and you know, Ghana, things in Ghana will be different from how things are in London. And how were you able to manage the family? And you were a banker for that matter, with work, husband, kids. How were you able to do that?
How was I able to do that? Yes, I just had to do that through planning. You need to create a balance. We have what we call a wheel of life, which everyone, I believe, needs to know. You know, you have various aspects of your life, and you need to create a balance to be able to call yourself a successful person in whatever you are doing. And to do that, you have to know to plan your life. So this was an issue of planning, prioritizing issues, and being able to know what is most important for you. I mean, sometimes they all seem to be important, but for me, family first, God first, and then followed by family, right? You know, before even my career and all that. So I had to make sure that I give attention to where, you know, it was needed at the time. Then I continued like that until, and then I've always learned how to manage myself by planning, you know. So I told God that, look, I don't want to really stay in this job forever, you know, until I go on retirement as a banker, because it is very demanding. So I rose up to become the head of institutional banking in HFC, and luckily there was this takeover bid, you know, by an international group, Republic Bank from Trinidad and Tobago, and they offered us redundancy, which fell in line with my idea of wanting to leave my job early. So I actually left. I left, you know, 5 years earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
And you were just at home?
And no, the reason is, and God being so wonderful, I mean, when I left, I had a lot of opportunities, offers coming to me left and right. And that's why I believe seriously that if you are determined and you are in the right course of your life, things will come to you. You don't even have to. But one of them was something dear to me. So I had a lot of offers. I myself wanted to do consultancies. I even wanted to rest, but I didn't have that chance to rest, because I started by saying that my husband and I have always tried to help people. And in trying to help people, you get a lot of offers too, because I'm not necessarily paying, but very satisfying. So Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund, of which I used to be a board member, approached me, you know, unannounced, to say that, look, we would like you to really pick up this company and make sure that you establish it and develop it and grow it to a company that will outlive even the founding members. So it was an opportunity for me, because as a Muslim, towards
Zakat is an important
third pillar of Islam, and I thought, yeah, I think I want to do it. It's a lot of responsibility though, but I agreed to do it, and that's what I'm doing up to now. And at the end of the day, it is helping me more than even. I'm the CEO of Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund of Ghana, of which we have an office in Accra, Takoradi, and Tamale here. Yes, and we are still opening up. We'll be going to Kumasi very soon.
When next you open another, I would want to give you one worker.
Oh, okay, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? The person must really be prepared to work for God. You understand? If you cannot work for Allah, you can't do it, because it is based on Sharia. So you can't cheat.
You can't cheat. You can't bring your your Quran for other.
But it is the most satisfying job, because you are doing God's work. You know, that kind of thing. So, and that's what brought me here. And so on Saturday we came to do some disbursement to the needy.
Okay.
You know, we gave it out a lot, and through us, we're able to get some scholarship from the Vice President of Ghana to a young lady who had aggregate 9 and
it's been news throughout the country these days, with politicians trying to counter up. Some are saying that this person is already going to pay for head. You see, this is what I'm talking about.
But
the politics.
Exactly. It should have.
Why are we like this? You know, why is it that there's always acrimony? You know, everybody always wants.
Even it's not only politicians, even you media, because the girl came to us at the disbursement ceremony, and then we brought him out and made an appeal. Little did we know, the media took her outside and interviewed her and put it on the Facebook. They should have even come through us, because we are there. Zakat is intended to help everyone.
So some media
even though we are collecting from Zakat, we don't necessarily give it to only Muslims.
How do you get your funding, and how do I contribute to this fund so that at least I can also help?
Thank you. It's very essential for us, actually. Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund of Ghana is targeting anyone who qualifies to give his zakat. But we have added Sadaqah, because in Islam, Sadaqah is very important. If you earn even 10 cedis, you should be able to do Sadaqah on it. If you are eating and someone joins you, you know, at table, it is Sadaqah, you know. But who qualifies is anyone who is a Muslim who meets the yearly nisab. Currently, we are looking at about 1,750 the whole year.
Okay.
So just take it as that if you are earning at least a net of 500 Ghana cedis, you are qualified to pay zakah. On the 500 net, that is 500 Ghana cedis, your zakat is 12 cedis, 50 pesos.
On each 500 cedis?
Yes.
Okay.
On, you know, but you can give us more sadaqah if you like. Now, but it's a lot. If you think about it, if we have currently, we are looking at a target, looking at those who are working for government and the private sector and earning income. For Muslims, we are looking at not less than 500,000 people. And if we could get even 80% of them, that is about 380,000 people, given even 10 cedis a month.
That would have been huge.
That would be huge money, and we could build schools, could build hospitals, we could sponsor people to go to school. There are a lot of people out there who needs to go to school. And by the way, the Islamic community, our biggest headache is leadership and education. And if we can mend those two areas, I believe that we'll be able to compete with other faith-based institutions. You know. So yes, come to us and pay, but you can do that through a lot of channels. We have almost all the banks. We have bank accounts. Now we use Interpay, #789 #2. You can to make your payment, your Sadaqah payments.
Okay.
And then those working with government, they pay through controller.
Okay.
And you can do a standing order with your bankers to make the payments and all that. And of course, we are on the web. We have a website you can go to. Indeed, and I say that every Muslim should be an ambassador of zakat, because every Muslim want to be able to have a reward with Allah. And with zakat, it is not for anyone, it is for you. If you pay that amount, it is going to be like a savings for you on the day of judgment.
Wow, I like where you've landed. We were conversing informally after when we went for a break. Hajia was telling us that I am Ma'apele so zanti bia bia Ma'apele ma bia so gba ama la chance and ma'ama zan Tizaka fund ma. Kam jaja so comes and then shelter ma no be imla. La antaba. It will do a lot. So I think we should have a rating. But yourself and your husband, I know you have 2 children.
Yes.
But you have a lot more children. I think about 5 or more under your care.
They are countless.
Yes, yes. Those who are staying with you are there. Those who are not even there. People who, yes, people who come.
My children are not even with me.
Yes, people who come and go and all of this. What is the motivation and how do you do that? You just give.
Yes, and we enjoy it. We enjoy it. It's part of our lives, and we really sometimes we even actually those days where we used to earn good money. My husband would ask, "What can we do? Do you know someone we can help this time round?"
Like we are looking for people to help. You don't want them to come.
Yes, that kind of thing. And you see, but God works wonders. So how come that I'm even working with Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund? I think it is Allah who has put me in there, because I didn't go to ask them for a job. They came to me, but maybe because of the way we are, and I'm happy because I'm doing it, you know, for myself and for Allah and Islam.
And I'm most interested in Asana Yakubu's case. You know, it was as if she's been penciled for a presidential award, and you know, people wanted to do this and that. And I asked Alhaji Cambodia on my show here, and he denied it. You know, he explained to me what happened. You know, but you took her in, as your own now.
Yeah, and I think she's still our daughter.
And today you are sponsoring her university education.
Yeah, we intend to do that.
No, I salute you and Doc for this. And really, we can only encourage you and to say that may the reward that you seek get to you here and in the hereafter.
Well, we are enjoying it.
I actually, look, I love people like this. I wish I could do more than just making the noise that I'm making.
You are doing something by even advising people not to be too much in a hurry to make fake money. In fact, you don't know what you could be. You are saving some people's lives, and that could even be more. It's just a matter of all of us doing our best in our brightening our own corners. Even taking time. You are young, and just imagine if you have a wife and children now, instilling the discipline in them alone is enough. If every parent was like mine and yours, I believe that the world would be a good place to live in. So for this program alone, I think you have conquered, you know, what Allah wants you to do.
Well, thank you, Hajia, for this compliment. This goes to my team because they always put everything together. And so Hajia says you've been doing a great job. And so thank you, team, for this great and wonderful job. But time is always of essence. I wish we could continue talking and talking.
Yeah, I know.
But we are almost running out of time. So what I would like to do is to take your very final words on this show, which will include your advice to especially young ladies of Northern Ghana.
Okay. To be honest with you, I wish I could be given more time to talk, not because of anything, but I myself is an inspiration, and I am a motivational speaker.
Sure.
So I would wish that there was more time to talk, but I derive my motivation from my best surah in the Quran, which is Surah Al-Asr. And in it, God has simplified things for us. He asks us, who is the righteous person on earth, and who will see me on the day of judgment. And it just has 3 core values, and you can instill it and apply it anywhere, and you'll be fine. It says that we must be truthful, have faith, and have patience. So if you turn it, I think he starts with, we must be faithful and know that he's Allah, and then have a lot of patience, and then you are truthful. And it is also the shortest surah in the Quran. Very important. If you apply that to your life, you will be a happy person on life, and perhaps in the hereafter, as we are told by the Quran and the Sunnah. So let's try to emulate that. It is not easy. We can't be that old. Patience means a lot. It's not just about getting angry, because we all know that anger is not the best thing. But it involves. Take time to learn it, young people, and it will help you. Take time to be truthful with your life, and you will not do sakawa. You will not be in a hurry to go and marry and not have a profession. You will not be in a hurry to pick a profession which will not help you. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Wow. If you were given another chance, what would you do differently all through your life?
It's a question I've asked myself all the time. I think I'm just grateful to Allah for who I am, because what difference, what would I do differently? Seriously speaking, I cannot judge myself, but Alhamdulillah, I thank Allah for who I am. I don't know what I'll do differently, because I'll continue to strive to be a better Muslim, to make my family happy, to make people happy, and to smile all the time.
Now look into my camera and assume that Doc is standing right next in front of you.
And smile.
And tell him something. This is love on air. Doc, this one is for you. Just tell Doc something.
Okay, if that was the case, maybe it's an opportunity for me to tell him I'm very thankful for knowing him, for him being part of my life, and I'll not change for anything better, because he's the best. Thank you, Dr. Majeed. And I love you very much.
Wow. Yeah. You know, this is incredible, and I wish and hope, in fact, I hope and pray that someday my wife would sit somewhere and she would shower praises on me. Like, I
don't know whether it's finished, but it's part of it being truthful. And for me, you can see that I'm a thoroughbred. I don't fake my life. I am who I want to be. Please, people fake, and faking, I've seen, has destroyed a lot of people from school days to today. Don't fake. Be who you want to be. So identify who you are. Know your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's very important. Then you will be able to do what? To start your life, and then you can develop goals from that there, and live your life, and you'll be happy. For all you know, they don't even need those big houses. The young people, they are building it. They don't, but they think that is what will get them. They don't need the kind of money they are looking for, and then they think that, or they just assume too many things. Don't believe in God, and move on, and identify what you want and move on. Thank you.
Wow. I think there's nothing more to say today. Hajia has said it all. What's left is just for you and I take what she said seriously. You know, let's retrospect. So you can go back to YouTube, search Minority Achiever. You will find this video there, and just put it as part of your archives. Once in a while, when you are down, play the episode with Hajia Azara, and trust me, you will learn one or few things that will help strengthen you to put your pieces together and move on in life. I always say, and I'll continue to say, that it is not just about listening to these, you know, stories and motivations, but it's about putting them to practice.
Action.
And at the end of the day, we will all be better people, and the society will be a better place for all of us. Thank you very much, Sabali Studios. Always solidly behind Minority Achiever. Do you need music videos? Do you need outdooring, weddings, occasions, conferences, whatever, even funerals? They don't want me to call funerals, but it's also part of it. If you need a clear video like the one you're watching right about now, always get in touch with Sabali Studios. This year we tried as much as we can to roll out their numbers so that you can also call them, get in touch with them, and they'll get you the best of videos that you would always be happy with. Today I have with me Salma and so many other people around, and I'm so grateful for the love you've shown Minority Achiever and myself, and thanks to everybody for doing the monitoring, for watching. Until I come your way again next week, my name is always Abdul-Jalil Naabeli. I am